Okay.
This is a meeting of the Southfield Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business, and is not to be considered as a community meeting. There's an opportunity for public participation during the meeting, and comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual. The board will listen to comments but may not respond during the meeting. If you wish to address the board, please raise your hand when public participation arises on the agenda. Roll call. Charles Hicks, Board President.
Gerald B. Joyce, Vice President.
Ashanti Bland, Board Treasurer.
Good evening, Leslie Love Smith Thomas, Board Secretary.
And as was mentioned earlier on, Trustee Johnson, I believe, is on.
Yep, Trustee Johnson.
Oh, okay, there you go. Any other trustees that have not introduced thus far? And as
Board
they are,
President, I
ma'am.
think I see Talisha Rice in the attendees section. Let me,
All right, I'll fix that.
okay.
You see anybody else?
Oh,
We'll give
think
her a
she-
second to get on and announce.
Good evening, Board Trustee Talisha Rice.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Dr. Green, Superintendent, will not be here on this evening. In her stead, we have,
Interim Chief Academic Officer Pamela English.
welcome.
Mhm.
Welcome.
Okay. So, Pledge of Allegiance. Would anybody like to lead it or not? I will go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Board matters. Just two quick things, community trustees. Just wanted to take a little moment in all seriousness. Right before this meeting, I typically watch the news midday just to keep, abreast of things. And there were two stories that just hurt. There were two sets of families where children had access to firearms and shot other children. So I guess my plea is, we have very good relationships with our police force here in Southfield. I want to encourage those who have firearms to reach out to Southfield Police Department, state troopers. I'm sorry, Michigan State Police, because I know that they've had programs where they've offered gun locks. And I believe that we need to ensure that, as we, have firearms in the home, that we have them secured. So, I'm praying for those families, for those children who are in the hospital, and I'm praying for those parents, because I had to actually do some checks on my stuff, because I just want to make sure that, things happen. Kids are curious, but we have to make sure that we do our proper due diligence to make sure that our households are fortified and protected. So we want to make sure that we do what we can to communicate gun safety, because we have many children in our community that we do not want to have this happen here as well. On a brighter note, one of the things that I've been very pleased and excited for is us doing more to market our district, our school offerings. Can you all see my screen?
yes.
Yes. Okay. And one of the things that we've always been saying is that we have to do a better job of telling our story. And in this pandemic, I applaud the works that are being done over at Levy Middle School. Typically around this time of the year, they're beginning to do open houses to have, students who are in the 5th grade get a glimpse of what they can experience when they come over to Levy Middle School. They would have a field trip where they come over, see the different extracurriculars, meet the staff. Well, that's a bit challenging now. So what they've done is they've put together a brochure or a pamphlet, as you will, that kind of highlights what we offer. And various schools in our district have different niches and things that they offer that other schools may not. Levy Middle School is a STEM school, home of the Mighty Jaguars. And if you click through this document, what you're going to see is a glimpse of what they're all about. You're going to get some characters of the various staff that will be working with those individuals. What does the STEAM program mean and what things they offer at the school? Their engineering and robotics. They have a lot of different videos from various key stakeholders within their school that highlights the various clubs that are available. And they offer a virtual tour of the school so that when we're prayerfully fully utilizing the schools soon, those students, when they begin to attend school, have a feel for what's available, what my school is going to look like, what extracurriculars are available. So I just want to applaud the work done by Counselor Hill, Principal Jackson, and others who worked on this, because I believe this is a good representation of us telling our story. And I'm hopeful that many of the other schools follow suit in doing things similar to as we see here, because I believe it gives value add and gives perspective as to what things are available within our district. So I applaud the works of those people. Trustees, any other board matters?
Board President, if I may,
Ma'am.
two things. Could you potentially move Trustee Ware Duvall up? I believe she's in the attendees.
Okay, absolutely.
The other thing, first of all, the Levy STEAM, I don't know what to call it, introduction pamphlet is awesome. It looks so good. Thank you for sharing that with everyone. The second thing I wanted to say was thank you to Vice President Joyce, Mrs. Hill, Dr. Ferris, and Trustee Ware Duvall. I was able to sit down and tour Bussy and learn so many great things as we learned over the weekend also. But it was very nice to be able to sit down with them and tour the school and get some more information. The last thing I wanted to say was thank you to all of the schools and the principals that found a way to make Black History Month special. Go out of your way with those awesome programs. You know, to any of the staff that really made it a point to enhance their regular curriculum with some good knowledge about Black History Month. I really appreciate it. And for those of you who may not have found time, I just want to stress how important it is. Representation matters. And I just think that it's very important that we recognize all of these special days. International Women's Day was yesterday. Black History Month was last month. Just us taking a step forward to really drive home the importance of diversity in our district. So that was all I had.
Thank you.
Board President, if I may.
Ma'am.
First, I'd like to
Hey.
apologize. Hi, everyone, and good evening. I'd like to apologize for my tardiness. I was running into some serious technology issues with not being able to join. However, I do want to bring light to, as Trustee Bland mentioned, the meeting that we were on and all the information that we received on Saturday. And thank you to all of those that were on there to help us guide us through all of the I's that need to be dotted and the T's that must be crossed in order for us to be a healthy environment for our Bussy participants and members and faculty, as well as our students, and looking on how we're going to move forward with our enrollment. It is vital that we make sure that we are participants in our public and get the word out there that Bussy Center and the Southfield Public Schools starts at the age of 0. So With that said, I really just want to thank you all for the time and making sure that I am getting on board and getting ramped up to understanding all of the minor and major details that make this big machine move forward. Thank you.
Cool, thank you. Any other board matters?
Oh, Board President, I
Ma'am.
forgot something. Trustee Ware Duvall and I attended OSCBA's diversity, their racial diversity meeting, their dinner meeting for the month. And Dr. J. Marks, used to teach in Southfield Public Schools, was the guest speaker. It was absolutely amazing. And he wanted me to tell everyone hi. And he also said he was open to do anything for Southfield Public Schools as far as diversity, equity, and inclusion is concerned. But they had some awesome information about how we can make an impact on erasing systemic racism from the education system. So I just wanted to give him a shout out because I told him I will mention that that he said hi to everyone and also just share that information that we received. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to have the report of the superintendent given by Ms. English.
Board President.
Uh-oh, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Actually, if Ms. English could speak to what are the reading month activities happening right now. That is really the highlight of my board matters, just wanting to bring light that this month is reading month and encourage our families to participate in the activities. The reason I asked Ms. English is because I know this would be her area, and with us being, of course, in the pandemic, things I'm sure look a lot different this year. So just wanted to bring light to that.
Thank you, Trustee Love Smith. I don't have, there are many things going on which I don't have right in front of me. I know that we have several organizations who are participating all across our district as it relates to Reading Month. We have Levy was donated books for Reading Month, and then we also had some second grade reading books being delivered and donated from to our district over at Stevenson, and I can't remember the other school, but we have several.
I think it was Bernie. There was an organization that was donating.
Yes, and I don't have the organization right in front of me, but we have several donations that were happening across the district. I know that we have also, we're working on our celebrity readers that normally come, so some virtual aspect of that. So for our new board members, normally we have our celebrity readers come in during this month and spend time reading to our students. They would come and sit with our students and read, and so we are working on some of those opportunities as it relates to the virtual component of that as well. And then we have some other organizations. I know Delta Sigma Theta is another organization that's working with us to do some reading activities and some literacy activities as well. So we do have several things, and I apologize, Trustee Love Smith, I don't have them specifically in front of me, but I can make sure that you have those.
Ms. English,
Will we have, my apologies, Trustee Bland, will we have a calendar or some type of highlight on the website?
We can have that, yes.
Okay.
I was going to let you know, Trustee Smith Thomas, that McIntyre actually, Ms. Beckwith sends out on Schoology every single day. They have a different teacher reading a story, and the kids can find it on their email. So the teachers have encouraged the kids to log on, and they can hear a different story every single day, even on the weekend, for Literacy Month. So I just wanted to let you know that was also another initiative over at McIntyre for Reading Month.
And I'll get all of those things to you, Trustee Love Smith, or to the whole board, so that you can see what's going on this month.
Thank you. And if we could find a way to have an electronic version that can be shared on social media, because as we know, that's the main source being used right now during this time, so that we can easily share it with families as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Board President.
Hey, no problem.
Board President Jacinda Samara needs to be moved up, please.
I'm sorry, I missed.
Jacinda Samara,
Oh, okay.
if you would please move her up. And as we prepare, Zarek, are you going to be presenting? I think Zarek is going to present from his screen our presentation, which is going to be brief tonight. But as we prepare to share that with you this evening, I just kind of want to touch, if I may, Board President, just on, first of all, highlighting again and giving accolades to Principal Jackson and Assistant Principal Miller over at Levy for that wonderful brochure highlighting and kind of branding, what is special and unique about Levy Middle School. Our team talked about this earlier today and just talked about how do we begin really intentionally marketing our schools and really pulling out those things that are special and sharing those with the community, with our parents and with those who may be interested. These are the type of things that attract, new students to our school. So how do we really begin to brand those things? I commend Principal Jackson for her initiative and putting that together. I think it's wonderful, and I think that is something that all of our schools can really work towards and really demonstrating, all of the unique things that that would make students from everywhere want to come to Southfield. People don't know our story unless we tell our story, and so that doesn't happen, just in the wind. But we really have to be very intentional about how we put things together and how we present them, so that people know we have so many things going on in the district, in all of our schools, that will be, I think that will draw students and families, and also help us to just retain our students all the way through. If they can see, hey, I'm here in the 3rd grade, but I see when I get to 6th grade, I have these other opportunities opening up to me. And when I get to high school, I'll be able to have some career opportunities and, work embedded learning opportunities for me. And so those are some of the things that we are beginning to address and kind of think about more intentionally at the district level, and just wondering, how we can support that marketing and really sharing our story outside of the 4 walls of the buildings. So I just wanted to share that as well.
Excellent.
For our presentation this evening, which will be brief, our focus is around blended learning, and just want to kind of introduce to some just this idea of blended learning as we think about our current educational environment, and also thinking towards the future, and that we understand that some form of virtual education needs to be available for families as we move forward. Some families may, make decisions later on that would say that they want their students to have a virtual experience. And so how do we make sure that we are able to address those needs of our families? And so as we think about all of the ways that we can provide instruction that is rigorous and that helps our students to grow and to be productive, we want to talk about just a little bit tonight, just surface tonight about that blended learning model, and then also share a little bit of assessment data with you this evening as we provide a brief update on where we are in our processes and where we're going. So without further ado, Nancy, are you starting?
Yep, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Oh, so go ahead, Zarek. You can go ahead and let me start by. Thank you. So we discussed briefly at the last board meeting the blended learning model that we've been engrossed in as a result of COVID. And we're going to talk a little bit tonight about the definition of it. You'll see a brief portion of the presentation that's going to be offered up to the K-5 staff at the March 17th meeting. You are also welcome to come to that PD session. Stephanie Hebden and I have been working on this. So we will be brief and we will give you a small snippet, but we would love to see anyone listening, watching, any of our board members that would like to come. We will be sharing tools and strategies. So first, Zarek will be sharing with you some of our data from our Return to Learn.
All right. Good evening, board and family members of Southfield Public Schools. We just wanted to share with you the information of our hybrid students that are planning to come back on March 15th and the 22nd. And so as we look at this the percentage of students selecting hybrid, we see this blue area, this area right here. This is a percent. So we have 34% of the Adler students will be coming back. And as you can see the numbers right here, Bussey, we have 49%, McIntyre, 39%. Now the number that is actually in the black down here at the bottom, This is the actual number of students that will be returning. So we have Adler at 121, Bernie at 55, Bussey at 63, Kennedy at 28, MacArthur at 110, McIntyre 137, Stevenson 143, Thompson 51, Vandenberg 99. So as you can see, there are a significant number of kids who are going to come back and be in the building half of the day. I know a lot of the trustees have actually been walking the buildings and seeing what's going on, and so the precautions have been put in place. Schools are actually creating videos for their students so that they'll know how to come in, how to wash their hands, how to use the bathroom, how to walk the halls. And so we're just excited that these number of kids are coming back. Nancy?
Thank you, sir.
Question.
Yes.
Through the chair. Are these numbers K5 in the buildings that go
Yes.
up to 8?
These are K5.
K5 numbers, okay.
Yes.
And when will the survey go out for middle school?
We're currently working on that plan right now, and we with as the team we're talking about it. We met on Monday, and so that information will be coming out very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Our goal is to give families a little bit longer of leeway to figure their choices out for that, but there's a lot more nuances to the 6-8 decision making in the 9-12 than there was for the K5. So we have around 30% on average for the district, which is great. I won't get into the scheduling, but I'll just show you the brief overview. If you recall the K5 on the next slide, the mornings of Monday through Thursday from 8 to 11, this is the teacher's schedule. They'll be face-to-face with their hybrid students. Then the teachers will have lunch, have their prep while the hybrid students return home. In the afternoon, the teacher for the next 3 hours will be synchronous with the virtual half of class. That goes on Monday through Thursday. On Friday, the teacher will have 2.5-hour blocks of synchronous instruction with the entire class both times during the day on Friday. Go ahead. The student schedule you'll see reflects this. This is important to understand as we move into the blended learning model with more intentional strategies. We've been utilizing blended learning this whole time, but now we are able to really dig in and be more intentional with some of our strategies. And that just happens with time and research and expertise as we move forward. So that is happening all across the United States right now. The students schedule Monday through Thursday, 8 to 11. They'll be face-to-face. If they choose hybrid, they will travel home and then have asynchronous independent work in the afternoons. They will also be meeting with their specials teachers and possibly small group instruction through interventionists. If you're a virtual student, it will be flipped. Your morning work will be asynchronous. You'll have a lunch break, and then the afternoon will be spent with the teacher. And then Fridays are the same for all. If you're a virtual student, you also have the option to continue your independent work into the early evening as opposed to the early morning, if that works better for families. So the nice part about blended learning is it gives options to families. You can continue. Teaching and learning in a hybrid model. The students will receive the same content and the same instruction, whether you're in the virtual model or in the hybrid model face-to-face. It just is the time that you're receiving it that will be different. One you'll be at school and one group will be at home. The asynchronous parts of each day are also the same content for each group. And by the end of the week, both the hybrid and the virtual students will have received the same instructional content. Continue. So, what is blended learning? Blended learning is the combination of intentionally combining active engaged offline learning with active engaged learning online. Blended learning aims to give students more control over 4 aspects of their learning: time, place, pace, and path. We find ourselves in the pandemic being forced into this situation, but there's things that we can learn and grow from that will be a positive impact for teaching from now and forever, moving us forward. Continue. So when you look at the 4 controls of blended learning, it gives students control over their pace. Students can go at their pace and they can advance based upon mastery, not necessarily time. They will have time to do it in the manner in which they need to do it, to take the time. The path that they choose. Online learning, it offers individual data, timely feedback, and flexible pathways. And we will be teaching Stephanie and I will be hosting the session so that teachers will have some new ideas for what those pathways can look like to keep students engaged and moving towards a common goal. The other flexibility of control falls within time and place. So the use of technology opens us up to many, many opportunities that were not there before, and it really creates an anytime, anywhere learning option. Continue. So here's a brief 5-minute video for us to watch about blended learning in action. We'd like to show you this as an exemplar so you can see how districts have been implementing this for several years. So it's the things that we're doing are best practice regardless of what pandemic we're in or not in. So I hope that you enjoy this example of a blended learning environment.
I can say that the things I've been doing the last 2 years have really made a difference because my kids have scored the highest in the state on the standardized tests. So what we're doing here is working and it's helping them be successful.
We define blended learning as the combination of digital content and activity with face-to-face content and activity. It sounds easy to blend, but it looks very different in every classroom. So if a teacher is using something that works really well in a face-to-face situation, they should continue to do that because it works well. If they can find something else that works better, is more efficient or more effective that's digital, then that would be implemented.
What I have online could be completely different than what the biology teacher has online or what the physical education teacher has online. It just depends what you need those kids to have in order to understand what they need to learn.
Okay, go ahead and get the laptops. And actually, anybody that's in a small group, come over here. I need you to get an iPad.
Why I wanted to go to a more blended environment was so that I could figure out a way to differentiate instruction within the biology classroom. And I wanted a way to be able to work with students in small groups while other students are still engaged in content learning.
There are 3 activities. One's a sorting sentence activity, one is an online interactivity, and one is small group that's going to be working with me. Okay, slide to the apps and open up EduCreations. We're going to fill in this chart because this is going to get us practicing base pairing between DNA, RNA, and reading our codon chart. Okay, so what goes with G? C. C. So I'm going to put G and C together like this, right?
I've probably learned more today just by doing this than I have the whole week that we've been doing this.
We looked at the research about blended learning, we defined it, and then we had to figure out what would it look like in my class. And so that's when I went, well, I actually want to use it more as a tool for the kids for like supplemental materials.
Top or the bottom of the cylinder.
There's always practice problems, or you can go listen to somebody talk about the topic. But the kids started to say that we don't want to listen to somebody else, we want to listen to you. And we need your help. And we want to hear your voice. So I started to go, okay, well, how can I do that? And so our technology person said, have you seen this app on the iPad? And me, not knowing anything about technology, went, I have no idea what you're talking about. Teach me. So we went through a process of me learning how to use the Show Me app. And then I started making podcasts. And it gives me a chance to be in their homes, wherever they are, 24/7. It's virtual Weller is what we call it.
And that will correspond to 6 to 9, like it has in the rest of the problems.
The podcast helps so much. It's as if she's actually there and she just goes through it again and you can finally understand it.
I see them, they'll plug in, I look over and they have it on their phones, they have it on their tablets, they have it on computers. They do podcasts for me during class time. I will have specific problems I want to see, just do they understand the basics of what we talked about today?
40 60 plus 60. divide 40 to get C by itself. And C is equal to 45.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. For me, classroom time, direct instruction, investigations, discovery, that's all still part of teaching. It's not all online. A lot of the face-to-face stuff is still the most important thing to me. The online tools are there to help make understanding even better, even more rich of an experience for the kids.
We really wanted the focus to be on the teaching and learning part and on the digital tool as a secondary thing.
Kids don't always get it the first time or the second time or the third time, and this allows different ways for those kids to get it. The pass rate for my kids the first year was 75% and the second year was 93%. The state average is somewhere around 60%, so something's working for these kids.
So thank you very much. I like what the instructor said. The children don't always learn the first time, the second time, the third time, or even the fourth time. And blended learning and the intentional use of technology to support good quality instruction from our amazing instructors can really deepen our students' access and ability to engage with the content in which we are asking them to engage with. This is a K-12 model. We're currently starting to embed it more intentionally in K-5, which is wonderful. And then we will also be rolling it up. It's looking like our model will be similar to this for the 6-12. I can't speak until the team makes a final decision, but we feel like this is really an opportunity to be seized and not just surviving a pandemic. So if there's any questions, you can continue, Zarek. If there's any questions, I can answer them now. You are also please welcome to join Stephanie Hebden and I on March 17th for our session on blended learning. And it's both on tools and methods. It's digging deeper. It's presenting this concept, but really it's going into the strategies and tools in which teachers can use right within their classrooms. So thank you. And if you have any questions.
For President,
Yes, ma'am.
If I may ask a question
Sure.
or two, I do have a question, Nancy, as it pertains to the blended learning model that you'll be introducing on the 17th. Do you have a time slot for that?
Yes, there's a 9 o'clock and a 10 o'clock slot. One's K2, one's 3-5, but that's just because they have other sessions involved with Summer Caldwell for iReady. So either session will be similar, and if you are unable to make it there, we will also host more in the future as we have this for grades 6 through 12 as well, but we would love to have you there. We are actually, I can actually share links to you for any of our PDs that you're interested in joining as well.
Okay.
Any other questions, trustees? Hearing none, was there anything else to present on this evening?
Yes, Summer Caldwell has some updates on assessments, so thank you for your time and have a great evening.
You as well.
Good evening, board, Southfield Public Schools staff, students, and community. I want to give you an update on our spring state standardized assessment because things are changing by the minute. So the Michigan Department of Education submitted a request to the United States Education Department to waive the 2020-2021 state assessments and federal accountability requirement. Last year, it was waived due to the pandemic. However, the United States Education Department has not yet formally responded. However, they have informally stated that it is very unlikely that they will grant a waiver. However, the Michigan Department of Education is still in talks with them. What that means for us is that we have to continue to plan to take our spring state standardized assessments. So what we have done thus far, the testing coordinators, every building has a testing coordinator, and the testing coordinators have been going through ongoing training with myself, making sure that we keep the district in compliance because there's several things we have to do prior to our testing in the spring. The state standardized testing is in person, so that means there will be no remote testing allowed. That is a rule from the Michigan Department of Education and the United States Education Department. That is not a Southfield Public Schools rule. So what that means is communication will be going out in the upcoming weeks for grades 3rd through 11th grade, hybrid and virtual families regarding the exact dates and times of your testing. Next slide, please. The state standardized testing includes for grades 3 through 8 and grades 11 is MSTEP or My Access, depending on if what's in a student's individual education plan. For grades 8th grade and 9th grade and 10th grade, they do take the PSATs. For grades 11, they take SATs and ACT work keys. What I posted right here is the testing window. Now, a testing window does not mean that we're going to be testing every single day of this testing window. This testing window just means that between those time frames, that is the time that the Michigan Department of Education is giving us to test those particular grade levels. So April 12th through May 7th, we will be giving MSTEP tests for grades 5, 8, and 11 for various contents. For April 12th through May 28th is the My Access assessment for grades 3 through 8 and grades 11. For April 13th through 16th, that is when we will be giving all PSAT and SAT primary tests, which means that for the PSATs and SATs, they give us specific dates that we have to do our assessment on, and those are called primary dates. If a student is absent during that particular point in time, they do give us a makeup date. And this year, they added on a contingency makeup, which means that we can only utilize that date if it's COVID related. So if a student has some type of COVID difficulties or if staff or whatever, then we can use that later date. April 26th through May 21st, we will begin testing our grades 3, 4, 6, and 7 for MSTEP. We still have to do our end of the year assessment for iReady. Now, iReady can be done virtually. We will do face-to-face testing for our hybrid students, but for our virtual students, they will continue to do iReady testing virtually. Staff will go through training on March 17th, depending on which assessment they will have to participate in. And so we have trainings for PSATs, we have trainings for MSTEP, we have trainings for My Access. Next slide. Any other slides? Oh, no more slide. Oh yeah, one more. But one thing I do want to mention for my grades 10th and grades 11, there's something called a student search opt-in form. If your student has taken the PSAT or SAT in this past fall and you have completed the form, you do not have to complete it. If you did not complete the opt-in form for the student search and you want your students to opt in, and what that means is College Board has partners with over 1,900 educational universities, colleges, scholarships. And in order for them to release your child's information to these organizations, you have to opt in. In the past, we did not have to do this, but within the past 3 years, College Board has implemented the opt-in form for the parents. And so your building coordinators will be getting with your teachers and they will be sending home the survey. In order for your students to opt in, you will have to complete that survey. Like I said before, if you did it in the fall, you do not have to do it again in the spring. If you do not know if you've done it or not, we will have the names of the students and you can check with your testing coordinator by after the 17th, because they will be going through intense training on the 17th. If you have any questions regarding testing for the spring assessments, you can reach out to your building principal and they will get you in contact with the building testing coordinator. I will ask to please be patient because as we speak, MDE is sending us communication daily, and sometimes it seems hour by hour we get new communication regarding spring assessments. Are there any questions?
Any
Board President,
questions? Yes, ma'am.
if I may. Hey, Summer. So quick question. The training on the 17th, so that's a Wednesday. That's a virtual day, right, for the hybrid kids? So the teachers that are taking that training, will those students, since class starts, what, 8:30 or so? How does that work? Could you explain that?
That's our professional development day, so all students will be asynchronous that day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
As we move forward, that's actually a very good clarifying point. I just want to reiterate, whenever we have a teacher work day or teacher professional development day, the whole district will shift to a full asynchronous day as opposed to a day off of school. That has been one of the benefits, that learning does not need to be impeded as we go forward. So, unless it's a no school day. But if it's those types of days, you will be asynchronous. So that's a great thing.
And again, I do want to just add one last thing. We will be sending out a lot of communication to families regarding next steps. So don't worry, we will make sure that all communication that you would definitely need to know will be coming out soon.
Thank you, Summer. Thank you, Nancy, Board President, trustees. That includes our presentation, unless you have any other questions.
Trustees, any other questions? Hearing none. Moving on to action items. The chair will entertain a motion to open and approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we open and approve the consent agenda. Any questions or corrections to the minutes from January 12th? Hearing none. Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Ware Duvall?
Yes.
Trustee Rice?
Yes.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Hicks?
Yes.
Unanimous?
Motion carried. The chair will entertain a motion to open and approve Report 5953, Talent Management Personnel Action Report.
So moved.
A second.
It's been properly moved and second that we open and approve Report 5953. Ms. Davis.
Good evening, Board. My name is Jolene Davis. I'm the Chief Talent Management and Organizational Efficacy Officer. I'm here on behalf of Dr. Green, the Superintendent, and I would like for you all to call for a vote on the Talent Management Personnel Action Report as is presented this evening.
Trustees, do you have any questions for Ms. Davis? Yes. Okay, hearing none. Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Trustee Rice?
Yes.
Trustee Ware Duvall?
Yes.
Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Hicks?
Yes.
Unanimous?
Motion carried.
Thank you.
If you wish to address the board regarding a school-related issue that has not yet been resolved by school administration, please raise your hand. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual. As a matter of fairness, speakers with complaints against individuals are asked not to mention any person by name. Complaints concerning employees pursuant to Board Policy 9130 should be brought to the attention of school principals or other administrators before coming to the Board of Education. Your cooperation is appreciated. Do we have any public participation at this time? Let's see. Ms. Martin, you have 3 minutes.
Yes, I met with the director of special education and also our talent person who just got finished speaking. We had spoke about some things during our meeting we had last Friday, and we were told that we would hear information about temperature taking, and very surprised that no one mentioned that today.
Board President, if I may. I know it's not.
One. Ms. Martin, were you finished?
Main thing, because it was a lot of our concern during the meeting, and then we were promised that it would be addressed today.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Martin. All right, Trustee Bland.
So there is a video with Dr. Green and the Oakland County Health Department nurses. Due to unforeseen issues, the video probably did not get to who it needed to get to for this board meeting, seeing as though the superintendent was not able to attend. So to Ms. Martin, it wasn't a deliberate oversight. It just was unforeseen issues. An emergency came up and we weren't able to get the video aired on tonight's board meeting. So I do apologize for that, but the video is available. We just weren't able to get that on.
Board President, Dr. Green did send it to me. So I'm able to share if you want to just give me presenter's rights for a moment, please.
Sure.
I believe you have to share it as a media file in order to be able to see.
I'll try and unmute myself and replay it.
Whether or not no, I would say that we would discourage that practice. We have from the beginning stated that we would prefer the students be able to freely move into the building without being encumbered by the temperature. So what we are requesting that every parent take their child's temperature with their health screening every morning and have that done before they come to school, so we can avoid the congestion at the door. Filling out that form of inspection. So in the event that the question is temperature out today, that is when your past day thermometer would come into play. Is that correct? That is correct. And based on your overall assessment of the inspection or probable place, you feel that we are taking corrective steps to mitigate the spread of COVID as possible.
Hey, Ms. Norris.
I think that South Florida has six.
Yes, sir.
We may have to coordinate.
I was low on it. Is it hard to hear?
Well, we're not able to see the video. We see like a music.
Oh, I thought it was an audio clip.
Oh, it's just audio. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't we just we'll try that again, and making it available.
Okay.
But yeah, because it's not real clear.
Yes.
So Ms. Martin, we will address your concern and have it corrected by no later than our next meeting. We'll show that or listen to that. Are there any more items for public participation?
I'm sorry, Board President, I know this is completely out of protocol. However, because of the urgency of the matter being brought forth, is there anyone from the cabinet who can at least give some highlights regarding the matter being addressed as it relates to our position? I could hear a little bit on the audio, but I really couldn't hear it clearly. And so I think that with students returning back into the building, parents would like to at least know the position. Again, my apologies for being out of protocol with this. I know we usually don't engage during this time, but if there's someone from the cabinet in Dr. Green's absence who can speak to some of the highlights from that audio.
Board President, if I may.
Sure.
So I did have an opportunity to see the video, and in essence, the video basically, in collaboration with our Oakland County nurses, indicates that the kiosks that the district has invested in are really for the ability to take temperatures in the event that something comes up. We have a lot of service people who come into our buildings that provide different services. For example, today we had shredding take place. And so someone coming into our building, they can take their temperature, and we know that if they need a mask, if they need hand sanitizer, that those kiosks are available. The district, on the recommendation from the Oakland County Nursing Department, did not engage in taking temperatures of children at the school buildings. Instead, we are relying on our partnerships with our parents to take temperatures prior to students arriving at school. That means that parents are completing their questionnaire that will allow them to indicate whether or not their student has a fever, if they've been exposed to anyone who may have symptoms, or if their student themselves are symptomatic, and they would get a clear indication that they needed to keep their student home for the day. So on, again, the recommendation of our Oakland County Health Department nurses that are with us until June, that have been walking our buildings with us to make sure that all the mitigating matters that we have taken into consideration to keep our staff as well as our students safe are taken into consideration. And so there's a number of parents that wanted us to actually take temperatures at the building level, but having children congregate in a large setting, close gathering, lined up to take their temperatures is really not the safest way for our district to proceed. There are a number of neighboring districts right now that are, again, partnering with parents to make sure that parents are taking temperatures prior to students boarding the buses or arriving in our buildings. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Freeman. President Hicks, also, if I may, we are going to try to get the video added to the website so that parents can just click on and see the video there. So we will work on adding that to the website.
Excellent. Thank you.
Board President Hicks?
Yes.
If you're able to give me sharing rights, I might be able to present the video. I might need Zarek's help to make sure I show it in a media form.
Jolene, do you actually have the file?
I do.
Perfect.
Okay, share.
Once you can go to the orange, you can share from the orange top, the top of your screen too. Once you start sharing, the orange bar.
Give me one moment. Okay, so I have the video, but it's telling me that I'm not being able to share it. So there's something else that I should have done?
It could be file compatibility. If you can you share the video with me and maybe we can share it a little bit later?
Yep, I can.
Thank you.
All right, so community, we'll get that information, worst case, on our website so that you can go there and view it at your leisure. Any other public participation at this time? Trustees, anything for the good of the order? Okay, hearing none. Future meetings, Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021, 6 p.m., special board meeting / study session. April 13th, regular board meeting, 7 p.m. This meeting is adjourned, 7:59 p.m.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Good evening, all.
Be
Good
safe.
Good evening, everyone. Be safe. Be well.
Yes.